The secret to feeling free and happy with personal time. Today's episode is sponsored by Billy Keels Advisory Services. If you want to learn more about how to make your 99 optional, just go to makeitoptional.com. Once again, that's makeitoptional.com.
Helping you build freedom without losing your edge. This is the Going Long podcast with Billy Keels.
The secret to feeling free and happy with personal time is going to wake you up or hit you in the gut, depending on how you take the message. But if you give me just a couple of minutes, it's going to be worth your time, especially if you're in a corporate environment and you are trying to figure out how you can stop feeling guilty and start feeling free and happy with your personal time. And the reason that I know a little bit about this is because as someone who is born in the United States and has lived in Europe for over 24, going on 25 years, there's definitely a lot that I've learned from living in different, four countries in the last 25 years. But especially when it came to working in my corporate role, and this is also now life lessons that I want to share with you. But if I think back when I was in corporate, I learned all these lessons. I don't know if this sounds familiar to you, but you've got to continue to work so hard. You've got to work twice as hard as everybody else in order to get the same recognition. This is what happens when you have a U.S. working class parents who are working two jobs to make ends meet. And also, too, at the same time, you're working hard, you're getting the recognition. I was in the top talent program in the core at the end of my corporate career. Early on in career, had this, rookies of the year and certain travel director of the year and all these kinds of things. And so what I started realizing was that for so much of my life, my identity was really tied to the different roles I've had. And I love talking and speaking with guests on the podcast, and we start to realize that there's so many different similarities. I used to think that I was really, really unique, and you are unique in your own world. And at the same time, there are many people who have very similar experiences. And so when you take a step back, you can have an outside in perspective. And that's part of why I'm sharing you this story, because I know that so many people are going away and you're just constantly having challenges just being on your personal time. When your time is your time, it should be your time. But because of all these different things that were happening around my life, I was so focused on being able to make more money and be more promotable that the whole personal time thing, it was like, I just got to be on, because when I'm on, I know I'm going to make more money. I know I'm going to solve problems, and I know that I'm going to be the next in line for whatever the promotion is. And at the same time, if you would have pulled me to the corner and pulled me to the side and said, like, Billy, what do you really want? What is it that you really want? I would have told you, I wanted to stop feeling guilty about having dedicated time that was away from working, right? I liked working. A lot of people like to work. And it wasn't that I didn't want to do anything, but I wanted to not feel guilty when I was actually with dedicated non-work time without having that ticker running in the back of my mind. And I started to recognize, and why I'm sharing it with you, because there is literally a secret to feeling free and happy with your personal time. And that's why I'm sharing it with you now, is the days got longer. I was, I was constantly doing long hours. The vacations got shorter. At least it seems like I wasn't coming back refreshed from vacation. But then, and what I started realizing was, okay, and this is part of my story, and that's why I'm sharing it with you. When I was with my children as they were younger, at that point in my life, I also had the opportunity and the benefit of being married to someone who was not from my same culture, and specifically someone from Spanish culture. And I don't know if you've ever been to the south of Europe or Southern Europe or anywhere in Europe, actually, for that matter, in the summertime. But summertime and disconnecting is very sacred, right? Even when you're in the enterprise software space. I have to laugh because it's just, it is. If you know me, and I know you know me because you're investing time and you're watching and you're listening constantly. But I will say that I started to realize that this influence on having literally 5 weeks of vacation, personal time, holiday, versus what I grew up being used to, 2 weeks or maybe 3, some people nowadays. I started realizing, like, hey, how do I make the most of this opportunity and being able to feel free and happy with my personal time? right? And not feeling like there was an obligation. And it's a real simple solution, which is why I want to share it with you, because it all starts with you, and it started with me. After I got these insights of, hey, look, it's good to actually disconnect, use your personal time to recharge your batteries. And every single time I've done it since then, and it wasn't easy, right? But this is the thing that happened. And this is why I want to share it with you. And if you've never done it, you may go through some shivers or whatever, and you may not want to do it in the very beginning, but once it's all done, you'll be okay. Don't worry. That was me. That was my voice. It's not your headphones. It's about being able to set boundaries. And so when it's the personal time, it means there's no phone at the table. Or when you're on holiday, it means you don't bring your laptop, or at least you don't have it readily available, right? Not going to say not have your laptop. Not even bring my laptop. I'm not ready to charge it. Let's say I don't open it. Turning off the emails on your phone, like the little icon, you can actually not show that it's not even on your phone. So you can't see it. You can get rid of apps. You can make them not appear on your phone. And as long as the people that love you the most, your boss and your major clients, they know how to get in touch with you in the event that they need you, like really, really need you, well, they have your phone number. But you got to set the boundaries. Everything starts with you. That's how you begin. That's the secret to feeling free and happy with your personal time, is you have to respect you, yourself, and your personal time by setting boundaries. And like I said, the first few days that you do it, and I'm specifically talking about vacation, because we were probably listening to this episode right around then. I don't know what I'm doing. But here's the thing that you want to make sure that you do is those first couple of days when you're kind of shaking a little bit, like I said, you were shaking a little bit before, just get through it. It'll be okay. Because you know what's waiting for you on the other side of that? When you reconnect on your personal time because you've disconnected from the constant work or the feeling that you constantly have to be on, is you will come back and you'll realize that the major incidents, especially when you're in a big company, they are already resolved by somebody else, because that's their job. That's part of the specialization. That's part of the beauty of a big company with strong, robust processes, or processes, however you want to say it. And then the other thing is, you start to also realize that the company that you're working for, it's not your company, right? The relationships, because that's what I realized. The company was never mine, but the relationships were mine, which is why I made a way for those people that needed to get in touch with me, and they understood what needed really meant, and they respect it so much, right? Because I set a boundary and they respect it. When I didn't set any boundaries, guess what? It was never respected. And then that feeling of being free and happy with my personal time, guess what? I was feeling like an anchor, constantly pulled in. I don't want that for you. That's why you're listening. That's why you're watching. And that's why I'm sharing, because I want better for you. And then while I proactively communicated and realized the importance of being able to switch off, once I realized that, and I personally received the gain, and my family and loved ones received the gain, they got my full attention. I wasn't kind of there and then looking to the side. No, stop playing that game. Didn't want to do that. Because you know why? Because I wanted to understand the feeling of being free and happy with my personal time. That's the secret that I'm sharing with you. And so if you've struggled with this, start setting the boundaries. Set them and protect them. Once you do, others will respect your boundaries, and they'll understand that you're recharging for your benefit and ultimately for their benefit. And if it's not you, if it's someone you know, then share the episode. But don't just share it, care. Show that you care, share, and then give that person a call. Get on the phone, meet them for coffee, chat about it. And then while you're doing that and helping them go from theory to practice, guess where I'll be? I'll be right here preparing the next episode. So until then, go out and make it a great day. And thank you very, very much.